Today we talked about how to stay in shape and motivated during the COVID-19 crisis. My next guest, a dancer who went from corps of ballet to become a principal dancer at three of the most important companies in the world. I want to welcome a friend and a principal dancer at English National Ballet, Jeffrey Cirio.
How are you, man?
Welcome to GlobalDanceNews, my friend. Thank you so much. Look at who we have here.
Hey! Good to see you.
So proud of you.
Oh, thank you. How are you guys? You okay?
Good, my friend. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation, my friend, with all these craziness.
Of course, man. Of course. I'm glad to be here.
How you doing, my friend? How's everything?
I'm okay. I'm back in London now. I was in the US for a little bit with family and then also with my project, Syria Collective.
Yeah, seriously. Great.
So, yeah, and then...
Go ahead.
Yeah, just back in quarantine. That's the only downside. I'm just back in quarantine again. So
how are you staying in shape with all this COVID-19, man?
Yeah, so I think right in the beginning of COVID, when quarantine happened, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay in shape. I'm gonna do class every day. So I was doing like at least like a bar and some center, and then was doing a lot of cardio workouts as well as like upper body and core workouts. And then after like 2 or 3 months, like you start like decreasing on your daily routine, and I just ended up like it went from like 5 classes a week to like 2 classes a week.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, the thing is it's hard to stay motivated, to be honest. Like that's the hardest.
So you're saying that it's hard to stay motivated, and of course, as a dancer myself, how do you stay motivated then?
Stay
what
motivated. Yeah, I think also thinking to stay motivated, I think you also have to think like, okay, what is the future going to hold for dance? And like for me, I know that I'm going back to work slowly, but surely we'll start working here at EMB, and so for me that's a motivator to know that like I'm going to be back soon. But also it was nice to be motivated with friends. I quarantined with 2 friends, 2 dancers as well, and so having that friend group or community in support of you is a big motivator. And I think if you can't really do it by yourself, I mean you can, there are people who are doing it by themselves, but like I feel like they need the most support, and the motivation to get back to whatever job they have or whatever it is that they're doing in their life.
Let me ask you this. Whatever I ask you that you don't want to answer, obviously, please feel free to tell me. I don't want to say anything, but you went from being principal dancer at Boston Ballet, you went to ABT as a soloist, which is a step down from principal dancer. Most dancers now have to become a principal dancer. Is a big goal. How do you do that? What make you to make that decision other than it's ABT and everything?
Sure. So I grew up at Boston Ballet. So like Boston Ballet, I joined the company like even before I went to Orlando Ballet. I was at Boston, and I was an apprentice there, and I was in the school as well. So I felt like I grew up there for a very long time, and I did a lot of my growing years as a young man there. And so for me, I felt like, okay, I've reached the rank of principal. Like that was awesome, and I was so happy, and I was dancing, but I felt like there's gonna come a time where I think I need to move on, and the opportunity kind of presented itself to me, and that was me just kind of being curious about sending out my stuff to see who would kind of be interested in a dancer like me, and ABT wrote to me and said, "Oh, we're interested. Why don't you come and take class?" And I remember auditioning, and I liked it. I liked the atmosphere. I had friends there that I knew, and they said, we can't offer you a principal contract. We can offer you a soloist contract, and with the hopes of maybe one day becoming a principal at ABT. And I said, "Oh yeah, that's great." It wasn't anything promised. It was just like, with Kevin, it's very straightforward. It's with work and time, you might become a principal. And it was a lot of thinking, but it was, for me, I always like to step outside that box. Like, and for people who know me, I know that I do my best when I'm just that 1 foot outside that comfort zone.
Very
And
important.
so, yeah, it's very important. And I've always felt like that's where I've kind of lived my career. And so it was that comfort level. I was so comfortable at Boston, and I just felt like, you know what, why not? What do I have to lose?
Did they?
I take the opportunity.
Yeah. Did they well a little bit like kind of let down a little bit? Do you feel that that they were like, man, a great dancer is
Yeah.
leaving?
At Boston, you mean?
Yeah, just
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I have a really good relationship with Miko Nisidin, the director there, and I had a conversation with him, and I just said, I think there was gonna be a time where I felt like I kind of needed to go, and it just so happened to be sooner than later. And we spoke about it, and I said, I want to try this. This is what I want to try. And he was like, you know what? If that's what you think is best for your career, then you need to do it. And so I took that leap. Of course, they were very upset. I mean, I was upset to leave a place that I was so familiar with, and it was a home for me. So it's still home for me, for sure.
But then from there, it was, I think, in 2016, you became principal, right? Something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2016.
It's unbelievable. And now, then you transition from there to the English National Ballet. And
Yeah,
I know you were guesting there for like 3 or 4 months before.
yeah, that's
Uh,
correct. You know what was funny is that when I was at ABT, and then I got promoted to principal, and I was very, very happy, and I felt like, um, you know, got promoted, did a full year. This is amazing, and then all of a sudden, I get an email from Tamara, just out of the blue. Never. I've met her a couple of times. I have a good relationship with Isaac Hernandez, who's also a principal here, um, and so I like didn't really it was out of the blue, like,
yeah.
honest to God. And she was like, "I would like you to come to EMB like full time. Here's a contract." And so I was just like,
It's
wait.
an offer you cannot refuse, like they say.
Yeah, it was
Sometimes.
crazy.
Mm.
It's so crazy because you're happy with yourself, and then all of a sudden doors open, like, are given. And I feel like that happens all the time.
For those who probably don't have that opportunity, what would you say to them, the young dancers? Like, I cannot go there. They're being rejected from those big companies.
Sure.
What would you have to say about them? About
I
that?
would I would definitely say that those big companies don't always produce amazing dance. Dance is everywhere. Ballet is everywhere. There are some amazing small companies in the US and in Europe. So I would not be discouraged by the fact that you can't get into maybe something like ABT, because there are prestigious small companies that have beautiful rep, and have beautiful dancers, and that people that just want to just have maybe a life as well as a dance career. And there are so many different outlets in dance, and I think that's what's hard for young ballet dancers or dancers to remember.
Perfect. It's excellent. Thank you so much. And now, jumping into the next question. You have won several ballet competitions.
Yeah.
Do you think winning all those competitions helped you to get where you are right now?
Okay, yes and no. I would say that winning competitions doesn't give you uh, a head start on everything. I don't believe that. I think being in a competition and working one-on-one with a coach and honing in on your craft is the important part. So the process, I always say the process is what's important for a competition.
Give me a few mistakes dancer could make that you wouldn't want young dancers to make. Does that make sense?
Okay. So I would say don't make the mistake of disrespecting the older dancers in companies. Always be respectful. I think that's one given. Is I always find that being respectful to everyone and knowing that you're a new dancer or in a company or in a school, whatever it is, be humble, be respectful. That's something I always say. So like, don't be disrespectful. That's one. Um, uh, I don't know. That's a hard question because I haven't really thought about that. Like, I think that's like one of my best don't do's.
Have you ever felt that you made a mistake and you go like, man,
Mm,
if I were to go back, I wouldn't do it?
uh, yeah, I think one time I dis and I was lucky because they were very nice to me, but they just said I think it would have been like something where I maybe cut someone off or maybe acted disrespectful toward that person in rehearsal. Um, and they came up to me and they're like, you know what, like it's okay. I just want you to know that this and this was told to me like you need to be respectful towards to me and to
So
older
important.
dancers. And but he was like, I understand, like it's okay, we make mistakes, but just like don't do it again. And I remember being like, oh, you know what? Like seeing the whole thing again, and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So dumb. But I was lucky enough to be told that in a respectful manner.
What would you do to dance longer?
Yeah. I think I mean I'm 29 now
Oh,
and I
29, that's
have
true.
yeah, 20. No, it's okay.
You look
And I
younger.
yeah. I think that I'm coming to the point where, things are revisiting in my body, like old injuries are kind of coming back and things that maybe I didn't take care of when I was younger. Um,
Why?
I've been why? I think because as your body you get older and you kind of deteriorate, honestly. So um, I try for me, from my point of view, I think I'm being trying to be more proactive about injury prevention and cross training, as well as eating healthier and knowing what like supplements I should take. And just being just just proactive about my body. When I was younger, I think I just kind of you just do it. You just go and do it, and you get injured, and then you do the rehab, and then you kind of leave it, let it be. But I've been like more responsible about taking care of injuries that I've had or doing exercises or like if it's anything like from cross training to Pilates to gyrotonics to stuff like that. So I
Gotcha.
think everyone's body's different. And
I
for
think so
me,
too.
yeah, I know what I need and some people need different. So I think
Do,
that's also knowing
do,
that.
do you think at some point you came back to dance too early, too soon?
Um, for sure. I think, I mean, there are so many ankle injuries where I think I've just danced through it.
That's another mistake young dancers shouldn't
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've just danced through it because I knew there was opportunities that I needed to fulfill. Um,
Gotcha.
and was it the smartest? Probably not. Do I regret it? Maybe a little bit, but not like
Yeah.
I did what I had to do. And but I think being smart about your body, knowing when your limit is, knowing when, you can push.
You and Leah, your sister, you guys create a very good project,
Mm,
Cirio Collective. I wanted you to talk to me a little bit about that project and how you
yeah.
alive even now.
Yeah. So a little bit backstory of Syria Collective. Leah and I created Syria Collective out of a idea that so many dancers were unemployed, especially in the States. So many dancers were unemployed during the summer. And we really felt like we needed to kind of help with that in some way. We thought maybe making a summer program, but it wasn't us. Summer program was not us. And just the fact that I was choreographing at the time, and we were like, why don't we start something where it's a choreographic project and we give opportunity to our friends and dancers to come, we do a piece, we create a piece and we perform it. And we felt like that there was a lot of restriction within big companies, especially for choreographers that wanted to kind of say their voice or whatever they wanted to create. And we felt like it would be a safe environment for people like that and other kind of art forms to come in and create together and have the opportunity to perform. So 6 years down the road, I mean, we're so grateful, and we do it 2 to 3 weeks out of the summer. And so that's also another thing that we've been able to keep it alive. We have had amazing supporters that want to support us and believe in our vision of creating, and also believe in the dancers we are. Yeah, it's tough. It's constant work.
Before we go, I want you to give a word of encouragement to not only young dancers but dancers in general. So give me some words of encouragement for everyone out there.
Yeah. Well, I think for a lot of people to keep going, to keep trying to work your hardest, and to keep dancing. I think this art form needs the next generation of people to keep our art form alive. And so the people, not only me, but generations below me, have the responsibility to carry this art form forward.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cirio, my friend, has been so nice to see you again.
So good to see you, man.
And I do appreciate that you did this for me, my friend. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course.
And I hope to see you soon. I always say that I hope to see you soon. Invite you. That's my goal. To invite you, bring you here, put you in a hotel, come to my studio.
I would love to.
And to even dance with us, man, with our humble company.
Of course, I would love to.
Thank you so much, my friend. Don't go yet.
Thank you, man. Okay. Alrighty.